All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rikakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who do rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to all you Akim out there pushing this truth across the four winds so we can seal the elect and make it to the kingdom. All right, it's the brother Uriah. Lord willing, coming back to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing to feed the body and edify the sheep in all spirit, faith, truth, sincerity, and doctrine. All right. And as you can see with the title, oh snap, it was a Rorschach test. All right. Oh snap, it was all a Rorschach test. Okay. Now, what do I mean by Rorschach? Okay. Well, Rorschach, and it's a play off of words, obviously, brothers, and let me go into it here. And Lord willing, this is edifying to the body and it feeds the sheep through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, so this is from the San Francisco Chronicle, all right, newspaper, online. All right, and they wrote, cutting SNAP benefits wasn't a budget decision. It was a moral Rorschach test. See, it was a moral Rorschach test. So, and brothers, I'm pretty sure I've heard about this. Obviously, with the SNAP benefits, the food stamps, being cut, and everybody all up in a big uproar about it. Mainly women, okay, because mainly women are the main recipients of the food stamps or the government assistance, okay. And this is a conclusion or an effect, I should say, from the government shutdown. Okay, all right, via Donald J. Trump. All right, and the rest of these politicians. Okay, you know, and the thing is, they're putting it out there. Well, both sides, the left and the right, can't come to a conclusion, and that's why the government is shut down. No, 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 no. Okay, it was a moral Rorschach test. Okay. Now, when you go into that word Rorschach, okay, go into that word Rorschach. All right. You see. So when you go into that word Rorschach, okay. All right, I ain't gonna read that there. It says, look, what is a Rorschach right here on the side here? What is a Rorschach test? All right. It is a psychological tool where individuals, all right, interpret ink block, ink block images. Okay. All right. It says their responses are thought to reflect unconscious thoughts, emotions, or personality traits. Okay. So that's all this was. Okay. It was a test. Okay. It's all a test, man. All right. We're gonna break down what that test actually is. All right, but let's keep reading here. It says, how is it used? All right, in the article, it's okay. This article here, it says the author calls the snap cuts a moral Rorschach test, meaning people's reactions to the policy reflect their ethical stance and world view. See, and that's what Esau wants to know. He wants to know, where people stand when it comes to their worldview and their political or ethical stance, all right, when it comes to the government and what they're doing, their decision. You see, let me go ahead and get this precept here. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 64 and starting at verse 5 and 6. Okay, and it reads, they encourage themselves in an evil manner. Okay, who is they? Talking about Esau, Edom, the wicked. Okay, the so-called white man, woman, and child, beginning with the elite banking families, and Amalek, those small hats over there, calling themselves the children of Israel, but they are not. Okay, it says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. All right, they commune of laying snares privately. Okay, or privily. You see, so they commune together to lay snares privately. Okay, for you people, man. All right, because they want to, like, once again, they want to know who's down, who's going to be down when they lay out this new digital currency. Okay, this new digital dominance. Okay, they want to know who's going to be down with it or not. Okay, and those that are not down with it, they have something planned for you. Okay, all right, jail, hell, maybe even death. Down the line. Okay, it says they say, who shall see them? See, they do this all in secret. See, all right. See, you thought it was about the food stamps. You thought it was about the government shutdown, but it's not. Okay. It was all a Rorschach test. Okay. Verse 6, it says, they search out iniquities. See, they accomplish a diligent search. All right. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart. Okay. The heart meaning the Hebrew word lab, which means your mind. Okay. The mind is deep. See? All right. So they do a diligent search. Okay. This is research. Okay. For them, this is research. Okay. All right. They cause the problem. All right. They want to see the effects that it causes upon people and how you will react. Okay. Because they're betting. Okay. They're betting on your reaction. You see? All right. You had people on the internet, mainly the NDub, okay, talking about looting, stealing food, if their food stamps aren't cut back on and things like that. They're banking on that. Okay. All right. Because they already have the solution. You see, this was a Rorschach test. They want to see the minds and the thought patterns of you people. You see, all right, who's down and who's not down. All right. So let's go back here. All right, let me read a little bit more of this. It says the author calls the snap cuts a moral Rorschach test, meaning people's reactions to the policy reflect their ethical stance and worldview. Some may see it at some may see it as a necessary budget measure, while others view it as a political cruelty. All right, towards the vulnerable families. Okay, yeah. All right. This is an evil man. Okay. This is a wicked man. So, of course, if he's ruling over you, it's going to be a pain, agony, suffering. All right. You see, an imbalance. All right. But let's go here. It says it was something else I wanted to grab. All right. But pretty much, he wants to know, your mind, your thought patterns. Okay. All right. This moment is framed as a symbol of political violence, showing how policy decisions directly affect real lives. See, the term Rorschach emphasized that how we interpret such events says more about us than the event itself. See, so that's all it was. Oh snap! Okay, it was a Rorschach test. Okay, all right. Remember, this is all theater. Okay, I want to give you another example here. All right. All right, let me give you another example here. Okay, you had this new mayor of New York. All right, that just got elected. All right, in New York City here. Okay, so this is from USA Today. All right, it says Trump threatens to punish NYC. All right, so he threatens to punish New York City. All right, and those that live in New York City over the Mamba- Mamdani. Okay, which is the new I think he's the new mayor. Yeah, I believe he's the new mayor. It says will he arrest new mayor and block funds? Okay, so Trump is on a what do they call that? Um, he's on a rampage. Okay, let's just say that he's on a rampage. Okay, all right, but that's the spirit of the Lord that's upon him. Okay, to come down with great wrath. Okay, upon these people, man. Okay, he's that cruel Lord and that fierce king that is spoken about in the scriptures. All right. But now you have this guy right here, right? He gets elected. All right. He's the first Muslim mayor of New York City, right? And that's one of his key, like, when he was running for mayor, all right, of New York City, that was one of his key things that he liked to throw out there. I'm a Muslim, so I'm an immigrant and I want to fight for the immigrants. That was his thing, and that's why people voted for him, man. Okay, but it's all staged. Okay, all right. They want to put it out there like Trump and Mamdani is beefing, right? But they're really working together. Okay, remember it is uh uh um a Rorschach test. Okay, they want to see how you react. That's why they have this guy. He's in office now, and his first speech right here, as you can see here. I'm not going to play it, but all right, his first speech here. When you do, play it. All right, he went into pretty much stirring up the crowd. Okay, all right, stirring up people's emotions. Yep, and Donald Trump. What do you say? And Donald Trump, I know you're watching. I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up. I want you to hear me clearly. You see? And the people got all, amped up, you know, but it's all theater, man. Let's go into this word theater. Okay. The word theater in the online etymology dictionary. Okay. It says theater, a large airspace. So like a large open air place. All right. In ancient times for viewing spectacles and plays. See, and now that large open airspace, okay, is the world itself. Okay. The world is a stage, right? As they say, the world is a stage. All right. You see, and we're just catching the performance. Okay. All right. You might think that these things are just happening. No, that they're not just happening. Okay. These things were prescribed. Okay. As it is written in the scriptures. All right. And we're going to grab that too. Okay. Let me get this here. All right. Because, well, let me read this again. All right. Psalm 64:5. It says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. All right. They say, who shall see them? Well, guess what? The hopeful elect, the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we see you. Okay. We see you, E. All right. We see you. All right. Let me get this here. All right. The book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. All right. Salakia. Damn. Finger slip. Give me 1 second. All right. Salakia. Ecclesiasticus. All right. Chapter 12 and verse 10. All right. And it reads, let's get rid of this here. All right. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. And it reads, never trust thine enemy. All right. Never trust thine enemy. And guess what? The enemy of the Israelites or Yasha Allah, all right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians, is the so-called white man Esau Edom, as he's biblically known as. Okay. That's why it's always a clash. It's always a conflict with those people. Okay. Because they are our enemy. All right. It's in the Bible, man. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Okay. It's going to show. All right. No matter how much he tries to hide it. Okay. We're for you. We want to help you. No, 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 no. He's wicked, man. All right. He wants to kill you. Okay. All right. Verse 11, it says, though he humble himself, right? Just like, this guy here, right? Remember, he look, what is that? Psalms 83. All right. When it talks about the nations that conspire against the Israelites, okay, to cut us off as being a nation. All right, Esau Edom was first named on that list, but second was Ishmael. Okay, which is this guy here. Okay, you see, so they're working together, man. All right, don't get it twisted. It says though he humble himself and go crouching, right? I want to be for the people, right? Yet take good heed and beware of him. See, right? It says, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. See, we can see right through you. Okay. Crystal clear, Esau. All right. It says, and though and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. That's right. All right. He's still wicked, man. He's still the devil. All right. Salakia. It's my alarm for camp. All right. And so, we see you, Esau. All right. So you can't hide yourself amongst us, man. All right. Let me also get this here. Let me see. I believe it's Micah. Yeah, let's grab it. Micah. All right, Micah 2 and 10. All right. Micah, Saint Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. And it reads, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is well, this is not what I was looking for. All right. But that's a good one too. Salakia. All right. Let me start at 1 here. All right. Micah 2 and 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity, all right, and work evil upon their beds. All right. And who has the power to work evil upon their beds? All right. Those that are in power. And who's in power? Esau Edom, the so-called white man, woman, and child. Okay. All right. It says, when the morning is light, they practice it. All right, because it is in the power of their hand. See? All right. So this is talking about Esau Edom, but woe to them that devise iniquity. Okay. This is his plan all along. Okay. All right. He wants the reaction of the people. All right. And this is all a test. All right. This is a Rorschach test. All right. He wants to see, he wants to play off of your emotions. He wants to see how you will react. Okay. Are you looking for help from the government? All right. Are you looking for them to come in like a savior and save you? All right. From, in the midst of your calamities that they put you in, by the way. All right. Or are you going to rebel? You see? All right. All right. What is that? Red force, blue force. Okay. He's tagging people with these different markers or colors. All right. To see who's going to get down or who needs to be extinguished. Okay. Let me also get this here. Isaiah, um, Isaiah 10. Okay. Isaiah 10. This is the book of Isaiah, Saint Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. And it reads, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Okay. And a decree is a mandate or a law. Okay. And this is what Esau Edom does. All right. He has the power to write these decrees, these mandates, and these laws. Okay. All right. Just like they had the power to cut off your snap. Okay. To shut the government down so that you won't be able to get these government benefits. Okay. All right. It says, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness, which they have prescribed. All right. Prescribed meaning pre-written. Okay. All right. Pre-planned per se. All right. So this is always the plan, man. Okay. He wants to stir up your emotions. Okay. All right, make it look like that this guy is fighting for you against the wicked Trump, right? But they're actually working together, okay? Because guaranteed, if they weren't, this guy would have never got in office, okay? If they weren't working together, this guy Mamdani would have never gotten into office, okay? All right, he would have just been a guy on the street corners rallying up the people and causing sedition. You see? All right. But he would never be in office. Okay. That's what you people have to simply understand. All right. It's that simple. Okay. So they have prescribed, all right, this grievousness that they plan to put upon you people, man. All right. And why are they doing that? Because they know that their time is running out. So I'm going to end it off with this one. All right. Revelation 12 and verse 12. All right. Oh, why did I put that? Okay. With the water. All right. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12, and it reads, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Okay, it's talking about the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, all right, those that believe in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay, we're rejoicing right now. Okay, all this pain and this agony that these people are going through, hell, even though we're feeling it as well. All right, but we're doing it with a smile upon our face because we know, that we're witnessing the downfall of our enemies, man. Okay, in their wicked kingdom. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Okay. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath. Okay. The devil, all right, is the physical counterpart of Satan. Okay. Not the spiritual demon Satan. Okay. But the physical counterpart of Satan, which is Esau Edom. Okay. The wicked. All right. Also known as the devil. Okay. Is come down unto you having great wrath. See that wrath, that anger, that punishment. All right. That rigor. It says, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And this is why he's doing it, because he knows that he hath but a short time. That's why NASA's keeping their eye on the sky and what's going on out there in space. Okay. All right. Seeing the chariots moving quickly towards the earth. All right. Keeping their eye on, I forgot what they call it. All right. But that fathership that's out there, zooming in on, the angels, where that you can clearly see that there's a black man, a so-called black man with an afro pointing at earth. You see, this devil knows that this war is coming, man. All right. You see, and he knows that he's going to lose it, but he has that pride. Okay. He believes that he can overcome it. Okay. But us having an inside scoop. Okay. Now again, this is theater. Okay. This is theater. Okay. A large open air place in ancient times for viewing spectacles and plays. This is all a spectacle and a play. Okay. All right. Now you people are sitting in the crowd watching the show. and you're believing everything that you've been shown. Okay. But see, us, the men of the Lord, okay, the hopeful elect, all right, we've already been behind the curtain. Okay. We've already read the script, all right, to this show or this theater, this play, right? And even though we're sitting in the crowd, we already have the inside scoop. We already know what's going to happen. Okay. Esau is not going to prevail. Okay. All right. And that's why he's moving quickly. Okay. Because it's like his inside thought. Okay. His inward thought is that his kingdom shall rule forever, but it's not. Okay. All right. So you people have been duped once again. All right. So I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, it's edifying to the body and it fed the sheep through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechakwadash, Shalom.